Hello, everyone, and welcome to
We're
CineQuest
here.
Video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 1986 sci-fi classic, and possibly forgotten because these two guys didn't know anything about it. It's called Solarbabies.
No. Absolutely forgotten, I would say.
Yeah.
Solarbabies is a
And-
science fiction film set in a dystopian future where water is scarce and tightly controlled by the totalitarian regime known as the E-Protectorate. Yes, sounds very
Eco protectorate,
Yes.
right? That's what the E's for.
I
Eco.
imagine so.
They're very eco in this movie.
The story
everything's-
follows a group of orphan teenagers who call themselves the Solarbabies, and they live under the oppressive rule of the Protectorate in a harsh desert environment, where their only solace is playing roller hockey. And of course, the story unfolds from here. We just want to make sure to introduce Bryce and Roland. Too bad you don't have your names. Lunar
No.
Bryce and
I know.
this
I was gonna be Lunar Bricey.
Lunar Brycey, and Roland was gonna be I believe
This
it was
movie gave me solar COVID.
Solar COVID. Yeah, good job, good job. This movie, again released in 1986, directed by Alan Johnson and produced.
What a shitty year, right? 1986.
Yes,
The
it's
worst.
terrible. It's the worst year.
Mm.
I was very surprised when I found out that Mel Brooks produced this movie through his production company, Brooks Films. Didn't hit me whenever I
Yeah,
saw
that's-
that name at all.
Wild.
Again,
Yeah, you told me that, and I couldn't really believe you because it's like, oh yeah, it's we come across so many Brooks. There's like Brooks brothers and Brooks and
done.
And done.
yeah, there you go, Brooks and Dunn. Thank you.
Director
many Brooks.
Alan Johnson was actually a friend of Mel Brooks, and
Brooke
he was
Shields.
actually primarily a choreographer, but he did direct two Mel Brooks films prior to this. He wasn't the first choice, and I think due to financial constraints
What
initially.
films did he direct?
I
Do you know?
believe that, yeah, I have him here. The films that he directed were. Well, goddamn it, let me see.
Because reading this, it is kind of strange that it said that they let him direct it, but that he's known more for his
His-
choreography.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you've directed like two other fucking films, that's three. God, like this, that I would say that's plenty. Shit, I don't know.
You said this is the last one he did, right?
This is the last movie he made.
Okay,
And
so this is what killed it for him.
this is what killed his directorial
That's right,
career.
man.
Yeah, he's stuck with the. He's like, I'm gonna.
Dance.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Like a lot cheaper. This
It
movie
was Mel
apparently
Brooks
cost
too.
a
It was
shitload of fucking money.
To Be or Not to Be, and
Okay.
I have something about Hitler, some other Hitler
Alright.
movie that he directed from Mel
Okay.
Brooks.
Produced.
Maybe that might have killed it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Those
But-
both sound
I believe those were done prior to this film.
forgettable.
So,
Okay.
Solarbabies, of course, was riddled with a bunch of production issues because initially the budget was $5 million. And then as the production progressed, it ballooned to, I believe, $25 million.
Like, what the hell was Mel Brooks on when he decided to like
Mortgage is one of his houses, man.
Yeah, and like put himself into debt and all that
Yeah.
for this pile of fucking bland white bread. I don't know really what to.
Careful, Roland. Careful. You can see murderous intent in Ray's eyes.
This is like
I will
the
say
oatmeal of science fiction.
the oatmeal of science
Movies.
fiction. Jesus
The
Christ!
bland oatmeal, no
There's-
sugar, no honey, no
there's
none of that
definitely
cinnamon spice.
there's
bland.
definitely worse films.
loved
than this
it.
one. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed how so boring this was.
So going over some more production issues. Again, they had issues with the cast not listening to the director. So Mel Brooks had to actually come in and lay the law down because the cast
Mhm.
and they didn't say the crew necessarily, but said the cast specifically was kind of in his words revolting against what the director said. Mel Brooks,
Well,
yeah, had to put the hammer down on
it's
this one.
like
I was reading the story about the movie, and honestly, man, it kind of tarnished my view of Mel Brooks a little bit, man. He
little
kind of
bit.
came in like an iron-fisted spot because he was like threatening everybody there. Yeah, I gotta get this movie on track. You're all fired. Like apparently he wanted to film in what was it, Spain, right?
Yeah, no
'cause there's
unions.
no unions, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And then,
That
they
was
can
kind of
fire
like
people for whatever fucking reason.
that was like a kind of a surprising thing that I read. Of course, that's came out recently.
Yeah,
With even like I think like Seth Green, they're like trying to film where there's like no unions available or some shit like that. So, I mean, obviously they can push the cast and crew, man, like as long as they like. And I actually saw a documentary about Aliens, the second one with James Cameron, and they had mentioned that the crew that they, I believe it was in the UK or Scotland or wherever the fuck they filmed. It was on the other side of the world there, and they like to break for tea and like was it tea and crackers or tea and
crumpets,
tea and crumpets or some shit,
biscuits,
the tea and biscuits. There you go,
and gravy.
So,
Angers and mash.
James Cameron fucking like lost his shit whenever they were like, well, we take breaks and stuff, and James Cameron was like, we're fucking American styling this and like working like till we're all fucking dead to get these shots, but like they didn't understand why these particular the crew took breaks. It didn't make any sense to them. But yeah, I mean, I can see, and on top of that, the initial person that Mel Brooks had wanted to direct this, he read it. I believe this. Oh, what was the fucking movie that this guy did? I have it written here somewhere.
Oh, Union Bustin' Brooks.
Yep. Man. Yeah. Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, right.
Death of the author.
Oh, it was in one of the fucking articles that I read. He got some other director to try, and he read it, and he said that while he was reading, he was wincing, like visibly wincing, and he wanted to overhaul the entire script for this one, and he was like, no. He was like, no.
Redo it all.
He didn't want him to do that because, of course, for budgetary constraints and all that kind of shit, and he was like, well, maybe I should have let him do it, because even like the cast had issues with the script, because obviously we watched this movie and we know it's not like a great sci-fi epic film, even though it's kind of a
when he was filming it, they had to go back and do some because supposedly some of the shots he was doing like didn't make any sense, and the colorization was off.
Some of them. A little bit of the color off, eh? I mean, everything wasn't just like washed out and blindingly fucking bright as fuck.
No. I made a note. I made a note.
Trouble.
I made a note.
And then wasn't he trying to pitch it to Disney? And supposedly, was it Eisner or said yes, but then the other guy at the time, he's like no, and so that's why Disney didn't pick it up.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy at the time was, but I think it was Eisner. He wanted to do it, and then whatever the other CEO or whatever it was, he's like no. And so, because they were gonna apparently like really push like a Star Wars angle on it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. He said no, and then it didn't go through Disney. So,
yeah, it
turned into like Mad Max for toddlers
and Dune. It's almost Dune-ish like in a way too. With
almost what?
It's almost Dune-like in a way as well, because it like has
a
little bit spiritual element.
They threw a little bit of Beastmaster for good luck, with
the
bird, with the owls and the ravens,
with Darth Star walking around with his fucking bird and shit. Budget really ballooned up more than they were anticipating, because as they needed. The money wasn't like in one lump sum. Like he had to go out and get like $2 million.
Budget went though. Looking at this,
it's just because it took so long. Like you have to do all these reshoots and stuff like that, and they're not. It's not planned ahead. So it's kind of like they needed money as they were fucking up. So they fuck up, they go get more money. They fuck up again, they got to get more money. They fuck up again, they get more money, and then just it got to this point.
Man, that's a lot. That's a lot of fuck ups, because I was gonna say like the budget wasn't in the like much of anything for this fucking movie. What do
There-
you think the most expensive
there's a
thing
bit
on
of-
set here
there's a
was?
bit
Those
of
fucking those dune buggies. Oh
There's
yeah.
a bit of speculation as you know the scene where Grok puts I forget that blonde head guy's name, like hand in that little
Spent
thing.
on all the cocaine to keep Grok all fucking wired up.
You know when his hand
The
goes in
handle?
that no, when his hand goes into that thing and like it like melts
Oh
and shit.
yeah, dude. I was gonna say
Like-
this thing had such like wildly just like disparate fucking moments where you see awesome shit like that where a fucking dude's hand was like rotting, the flesh was rotting off of his bones, and
That's
and
one
it
of the
was
Dune
just
moments, man.
an illusion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Before it was like thousands of ants on a guy's body or whatever, right?
the guy
which
Grok
was,
is very sinister type of villain where he's like, "Ooh, you like that? You like?" And the guy's like, "No, I
he's
don't
dirty,
like that."
he's a dirty bitch.
Got a bit. They also have has a little bit of a Nazi-esque type look to it too. When he comes out,
The
he's like in that
Protectorate?
latex
Yeah.
like SS uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah. The with the aviators,
I would
aviators
say
on?
that's like a direct, very direct reference to all the Nazi shit from them like basically sort of being in a straight up concentration camp.
Mm.
It's
to
an
like
orphanage, Roland. It's an orphanage.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah. So
What
all
they
right.
call-
Well,
oh,
the
yeah.
orphans got jobs and they don't get paid for it.
They get water.
I mean, they get water. Yeah.
Hey, this is a lot like that David Carradine movie with they're all fighting over water and shit.
The war, the
Sword
sword
and
and
Sorceress.
sorceress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do that in there
kind
too.
of.
It's like
Hey, it's
A little bit of ET in here,
yeah. Oh, that's true.
That's
The
true,
orb
yeah.
is
the Balby, or was it again? Bodai.
It's Bodai.
Odai.
This movie suffers from a lot of the issues with the budget and how not thought out the movie was, and how not thought out or inexperienced it seems that the director was with such project.
Oh, very, very wonderful dialogue, and
The dialogue was terrible, sure.
the,
So
the premise, the rollerblading. I'm sorry,
roller
skating.
skating. Yeah.
Skating.
Don't say rollerblading. That's 90s shit, right? Roller skates is 80s. Get it
That's
right.
what it should have been. These should have been rollerblades. It would have been so much more awesome. Like when they do those little hops on whenever they would pass over things. I was
I
just
feel
it
this
just made
movie
me
could have
laugh.
benefited from more of a BMX angle.
You know what? Maybe I could see that too. Or you know what? Even skateboards. Fuck it.
Was it Rad, or what was the movie that came out? The BMX movie that was at the time kind
Oh
of.
shit.
Well, there's BMX Bandits.
Red?
Oh, the BMX
know.
Bandit. That's no. That's Mitchell and Webb. Like,
No.
shit.
There's a movie called BMX Bandits.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there is,
Oh,
yeah.
that's horrible.
Yeah, I know you're thinking of the Angel and fucking the BMX Bandit from Mitchell and Webb and shit.
Angel Summoner and
The Angel
the
Summoner.
BMX
yeah.
Bandit.
No. There's plenty of movies with BMX as like one of the pinpoints of the movie. And I mean, as you go down the line in the 80s, there's a lot of roller skate movies. There's like even in the 90s, you get skateboarding and inline skating, rollerblading. It's another movie I would like to talk about at some point. It's called Airborne, which is hilarious. But these movies as a kid, jumping. Well, let's go over the cast real quick, and then we're gonna talk about like some of the nostalgia portion of this. So we have Jamie Gertz.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
Jamie
curious.
Gertz from Lost Boys, and she came out in Twister. Twister there. You have Jason Patrick, came out in Lost Boys, and he also came out in Speed 2. If you remember that movie. We have Lucas Haas, who came out in The Lady in White, which is a classic paranormal ghost type of film. He also came out in the movie Brick, and he also came out in Mars Attacks. If you remember him from that. We have Richard Jordan as Grok. I've seen him in a bunch of movies, but I can't pinpoint one in my mind right now.
Well, I mean, he came out using the original Dune.
That's
in
true.
Logan's
Yeah,
Run,
that's
Hunt
true.
for Red October.
There you go. The original Dune. Maybe that's where they got that scene
Who did
from.
he play in the original Dune?
He was Charles Mackenzie in Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, the original Dune.
Nobody
Who
said
did he play?
Who did he play though?
Oh, sorry. It was Duncan, Idaho.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
We also have Sarah Douglas as Sandre, which Superman 2, Halloween 3.
Trying to remember her.
She was she was also in Conan the Destroyer. Think of the evil person in Conan, and in Superman, she was the girl with the 3 villains that get trapped in the mirror thing.
The other old man villain. I know he comes out in the Muppet movie.
The one that tries to play nice, right? Right?
Huh?
He's the one that kind of tries to play nice a little bit.
Yeah, the old guy with the dude with the white
warden?
hair. Mm-hmm. Is he the warden? Yeah, he was the guy who was trying to get Kermit. Yeah, he was trying to get Kermit's legs in the Muppet movie.
Yeah, it was Doc Hopper.
Doc Hopper, yeah, Hopper. Doc Hopper. Yeah. Shred frog legs.
Oh, that's great.
That's the primary cast in this film. Mind you, there's a few other people that we'll talk about as we go along. I do want to get through my initial viewing of this movie, and I don't remember exactly the first time I saw it. I remember seeing it sometime on HBO or Cinemax. They showed it a lot when I was a kid. My primary interest in this movie was first is that I knew Jason Patrick and Jamie Gertz from Lost Boys because I saw that first, and the roller skating aspect. I was delusional as a child to think that I could roller skate just as well as these people. I could not.
I thought you were a rollerblades guy, Ray.
I was when I got older, but I tried to roller skate at a roller skating ring one time, and I fell on my ass multiple times, and I was not cool enough to stay on my feet. You
broke your balls.
I broke my ass. How? Not my balls, my ass. All right. My balls hadn't dropped by that point yet, so like they were still in protective mode.
You were safe,
right? Yeah,
or in case.
They were still safe, tucked away in the pocket.
Yeah, they not like when I get older and I just took a seat and I like sit on them, like that. At that point, that future hadn't happened to me yet, right?
You got to pretend like you're doing the crab walk, Ray, and you just slowly settle in.
As far as the aspect of like them roller skating through the desert and through all this like rough terrain, I didn't even think about it at all.
Shit ever.
And
that's what the whole time that's what I was thinking. Is like, this is the worst place for fucking roller skates. Man. What the hell?
Like, oh man, they're fine. They're just sticking to the roads. It's
the roads.
Cool.
This can't be your means of locomotion in the desert wasteland.
Like the desert roads of the desert wasteland are very smooth, fellas. Okay.
You notice like
a single pebble, all right?
Yeah, a single pebble could take you out for sure.
A single pebble.
Hey, the street. It may be the apocalypse, but the street sweepers still on time, all right?
I'll say.
I thought it was funny. I will say though that
like as a person who has rollerbladed and tried to roller skate, the one pebble theory. Or the one pebble thing, like that's real. Like I've been taken out multiple times by a fucking pebble
it can be.
On a sidewalk.
It just happens to get wedged right between one of the wheels.
No, it's just I think that your balance is off. So like if you hit a pebble and you're like pushing forward a little bit, it'll like
you're talking about skating. I'm thinking of
if you put like a dead, it'll put you at a dead stop, and then you'll just go fucking flying.
Oh yeah, it'll drop you. Like fuck that.
But do you notice that whenever like I asked myself, I was like, they can't the whole time walk in these fucking things, and they do. They walk in these fucking they stop and and you see them walking
a fucking ladder wearing these fucking things at one point, man. I was watching that just like how can you make a fucking child do this shit?
Yeah, dude, they have headlights on those things, man.
Oh yeah.
Kid has like flashlights strapped to him so they can see in the dark. Dude. I don't mean to be. Let's talk about those hearing aids, man. That sucks, dude. Kids gotta walk around with things like that. This is the future.
It was like a pair of COS Porta Pro headphones or some shit. I saw those and I was like, "Oh no, he broke them." Like it's cool. It's got a lifetime warranty. Just pay postage.
That's some Radio Shack shit, man.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing he met Bodai early in the movie because then he got his hearing fixed real fucking quick.
The Bodai entity orb just like zapped him with its like magic like radiation like cancer healing energy and fixed his ears.
Did he zap him? I don't remember him zapping him. Like I thought he was just like.
I mean, I'm trying to understand. Like he just picks it up and all of a sudden his shit's fixed. It's like,
Well,
well,
I
what
mean,
really happened?
throughout the movie, you kind of notice that he has like some kind of connection to Bodai specifically, the kid. Is it because of his innocence or what the
Yeah.
fuck is the deal? But
I mm, I mean, the kid just finds it in like a cave, doesn't he?
he does, yeah.
Or
Yeah, he does. So, yeah, the mine
I had
cart
to
knocks
watch
him.
I had to watch that one a couple of times because I lost focus on it every fucking time, and every time he's just like holding it and talking to it like it's no big thing, and I'm like, what the fuck
Right.
happened? Hold on.
It was just like auditory hallucinations, and he thought he was hearing, and the whole time. And
Uh,
honestly, when I saw that scene, I kind of missed the part where he got the orb and he started doing the echo thing, and I was like, wait,
yeah,
isn't he deaf? Like, why is he talking with? Why is he
yeah.
trying to hear his own echo? And I was like, oh, he can hear
He
from
can
the thing.
hear. It's a miracle.
I think Bodai is just a metaphor
Jesus,
for drugs.
space
dude.
Jesus. Oh,
Metaphor for drugs, man. It's a PSA because then he
for
brings
like,
it to his friends, and then the girl's like, yeah,
and we
you
all feel
feel it.
great. We're all
It wants
connected.
us to it wants us to hold it. Like,
read.
I feel it.
Yeah.
We can read minds.
Yeah.
Just to backtrack a bit here.
It's the power over the fucking elements and shit.
I do want to like you guys have never heard of this movie at all, right? Prior to this.
Mhm.
Fuck no. I
It's
saw
called
this and I
Solar
was
Warriors
like,
one time.
oh yeah, it's called Solar Warriors and like Solar Fighters or something.
Yeah.
There's like a couple of names. I was like, what? All right. No, never heard of it. When you told me about it, I kind of was worried that it was some like, I don't know, rom-com or some shit you wanted to inflict on us that was like from like
I
not
wouldn't
too
do
long
that, come
ago or
on.
something kind of thing. I was like,
Look,
why?
I learned my
Why does this
lesson.
sound?
I learned my lesson whenever I
I heard
suggested
Solar
chasing Amy.
Babies.
Okay, so
It reminded me of King of the Hill, where Luann has the manger babies. Here's a solid
Interesting.
episode.
I did not see that
Those
episode.
puppets, and it was like I love time because she has that song, "The Manger Babies," and I was thinking that whole time. So it's a strange title for a movie. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to rationalize any of this going through. It has everything I like in it. The post-apocalypse stuff is great. Like they're all wearing like bicycle pads or like football padding or like baseball, like I don't know, catcher's mitts and shit as like armor, and that stuff always it's like a great hallmark of all post-apocalypse movies that somebody has some kind of fucking like sports gear in there that doubles as armor or some shit.
And apparently everybody knows how to play this game too. So
Yeah, and everybody likes to roller skate.
well, everybody that's how they get around. How else are you gonna fucking get around? Walk like
I mean,
like a
they
fucking loser.
at one point they do fucking take the stupid things off and get shoes out of nowhere, and they're walking.
That's true. Well,
But
I think they
then,
have them in
like
their bag,
the next fucking minute, the next chance they get, the fucking roller skates are right back the fuck on. So
I love the scene where they have to get over the collapsed bridge and they form like a daisy chain.
yeah, I was
Like,
wondering
mean,
how they were going to do that, and then it happened.
well, couldn't they all just go further back and jump? Did they have to do
Maybe,
this swirling
or maybe
dervish?
they
Like,
weren't strong enough. Actually, like I don't think Daniel would have been able to make that jump.
No, he would have
Without a
fallen to his
boost.
death, and that would have been a totally different film.
So, I mean, let's be honest here. They all should have died trying to jump. That first guy who jumped that fucking bridge,
dude.
I hear him. He did the and I was like, "Oh, that's the sound of him falling to his doom." But of course, no, he makes it.
That gap was way too far. And the last kid,
And also,
I think
you can't jump with those
jumps.
fucking things, dude.
It's true. Well, there's no ramp, there's no incline, and then the last
No.
kid, when he jumps, you can see he's clearly like falling before he.
Yeah,
They
and
cut away.
it doesn't doesn't it do like a little cartoon whoop or some
Yeah.
shit? This is a special kind of trash, Ray. I'm probably gonna cherish / hate this forever. I guess.
Roland,
In the best
I
way.
wouldn't suggest a film that didn't have some kind of charm to it, at least a little bit. You know,
This reminds me of this other one that I wanted to suggest. I think it's called Ice Pirates. But it's got, if I'm not mistaken, it's got Ron Perlman and Robert Englund in there. And it's like a lot of this same like motif, but this one's actually in space. And it's got that same like just sort of like jank post-apocalypse or like, you know, cyberpunk shit
Well, see,
shitty
that's another thing
world
I
made out of
figured you might
trash.
enjoy about this movie, Roland, because it has that kind of like element to it, like a little bit of a cyberpunk-ish type of feel to it, because of how like everyone's dressed and how I mean, if you look at any sort of cyberpunk, like even like something like Tank Girl or something like that, like they all have a certain element
Yeah.
of the way they dress in the future, and this kind of has that, even though they're all in a bunch of fucking rags, but like their primary gear is skate protection type of like helmets, shin guards, knee pads, all that kind of nonsense.
Mhm.
And uh, continuing
Could
on
use
with
the lacrosse gear a little more.
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about lacrosse
They could have done
necessarily.
some volleying, like some bombs or something.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised they didn't like. That wasn't utilized in some way in the narrative of this movie, where they would have used like those particular sports tools to kind of like make bombs and throw them or something. Because I mean,
There's a scene where they're throwing Bodai around.
right, but that's not he's not a fucking
just for
bomb. They're
fun.
just like playing around. They're horse playing.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Bodai likes being handled
Yeah.
or rubbed or
Well,
buff. I don't know.
that's we can quickly go back to the
He likes to be fondled.
if we can
There we go.
if
Thank
we
you,
can
Bryce.
if we can go back
Knew
to
it was-
the just kind of like how the movie kind of plays out a little bit. And
Sure.
we have like we said, initially they start off by playing this game with some other the antagonist of the one of the antagonists of the movie, which
He's
is
a
that
little like
blonde
Nazi
dude
kid.
douchebag. He's a fucking dickhead.
He's like
Do you remember his
like,
name? Does anyone remember his
uh,
name? I didn't catch his name like at all, or I just chose not to remember it.
it's Gaviel.
Yeah, okay, he sounds like an asshole. So
It's a stupid,
yeah. So they get challenged in the beginning of the film to a this little hockey game that they have. They get caught by the Protectorate or the E-Cops as they call them and stuff, and they kind of spread out. Daniel, Lucas Hawes' character, finds Bodai in a cave, just by happenstance, and fixes his ears. He brings Bodai back to the orphanage and kind of introduces this person or this entity to everyone else. Prior to that, they are going off about like them getting in trouble and all this other kind of stuff. And they mention something that I wanted to bring up was that fiction is banned in the orphanage.
Oh yeah.
And they're talking about like thunderstorms and all that kind of stuff. And Bodai, through his magical powers, makes it rain inside this room. And
they immediately start having like a wet t-shirt party contest.
that is one of the cringiest scenes in this movie, personally speaking, because like when it starts raining, mind you, it's raining through the whole thing, so like they're all experiencing the rain at once, and they keep going like, come on. I'm like, where are they going that they're not experiencing rain already? But
one of
the guys picks the
Tara jumps.
Yeah, he picks her up, and I'm like,
jumps on Jason or something like that, and he flips her around, and
and then they're just going like,
gets into it,
and then they all start stomping around, and I'm just like, this has got to stop at some point. But
nope, but it keeps going for a while.
It does. It's a little longer than it should be, and of course, Darth Star, which is like the Native American angle in this film.
Yeah. What do they call them? Like a
Charney
or Ting Chang?
Like a TCH something. I don't know.
It's like Charney.
Some made up fucking.
It's called Charney. Charney.
Oh, I don't know, Ray. Be careful.
That's what it's called.
Hold on. We don't want to get canceled.
What do you want me to tell you? And it's a bunch of white folks, which is hilarious. But anyways, we'll get to that in just a second. But the fact that everyone's kind of okay with this like entity that can create these kind of like miracles and stuff, it's so strange.
Yeah.
And at some point or another, Jason Patrick's character, he comes back and is like trying to get almost therapy from this thing because of his he doesn't know where he is in life,
Oh, yeah, he's confused and whatever. Sad when
all used to Bodai in our lives.
But Bodai is here.
Bodai is here to comfort you.
Yeah, help you guide you through life.
Sit down on Bodai's couch and tell us.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the beginning of it, and midway, from
So
my
isn't it a really
recollection,
long movie, right? Isn't
No,
it
no,
like
no.
an
Well,
hour?
it's an hour. It's an hour 30, hour 40, or something like that. But the main portion of the film takes place in the beginning, of course, where they meet Bodai. Then Darstar steals it and goes to the Charney people, where they're kind of basically a bunch of scumbags who want to like almost sell it, or at least that one guy does. Ivor.
Yeah.
His fucking name is Ivor.
He keeps jumping between being cool and an asshole, and then I think he just ends up being an asshole.
Can I ask you guys a question? And regarding that character, Ivor, does he I've seen that guy in other movies as well. But he used to like I used to get confused with like Tim Curry and that guy. He kind of has like a Tim Curry-esque kind of like feel to him, right? I mean, am I wrong?
You're wrong, but
wrong.
I'll give you a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
I don't think I've ever
Give you a little bit of that. Don't want you to feel
when I was younger.
too left out.
And I'm thinking I need to clarify that.
Dude, this guy's been in every Critters movie.
That's the guy. That's the fucking guy from
He's
Critters.
In fucking Critters.
That's
Critters
the guy.
2, Critters 4.
That's the fucking guy, dude. I knew I remembered him from somewhere.
He was Johnny Steele.
There you go. That's the fucking guy. I was so confused. I've seen this guy so many times before. Where is this guy from? He's from fucking Critters, of course.
Yeah.
I needed to clarify where I got the confusion between him and Tim Curry. Was Tim Curry in The Worst Witch? Whenever he does that scary, creepy, he's doing that fucking dance with the fucking shitty green screen behind him. That's the Tim Curry I'm getting him confused with. Like I thought they were like the same person when I was a kid. But anyways, that's just something I wanted to bring up because I remembered my confusion. Well,
I can kind of see where you're coming from with the confusion, but I don't know, man.
Well, I'm coming from you. I'm coming to you as a kid who's 13 years old and gets confused with these characters. You know.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
for a second, I was just like, I just forgotten that you said you did this as a child. And I was supposed to be like, Jesus Christ, Ray, you're a grown ass man. Never mind.
That character Ivor, I think kind of gets what's coming to him, you know, because it shows him like getting real aggressive with a woman outside prior to like the protectorate.
Like that was kind of,
you know, coming into the reservation.
He seems very aggressive.
Yeah. In a very sexual, weird
like,
manner.
Like aggressively positive or something. I'm not really sure how to describe him because like he does like sort of give off like a lot of those asshole vibes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But like none of the lines that he has or for the most part are very like antagonistic necessarily. It's like all in his face. He does that like
he does
huge fucking smile and shit.
He does say that he keeps asking how much he can get for it, like financially.
Oh yeah, I mean at that point when he has the full on heel turn, yeah.
But he gets like blasted whenever the protector comes in. He's like the first one to get blasted, and he's the one
as he's about to assault that woman. He just gets fucking shot, you know.
Yeah. But
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I thought he was dead too until we saw him with the ants on him, and then like the next scene's over, and he's like getting fucking eaten alive and shit. Like, would you like to change your story?
Yeah, he was coming in with some real hard Buffalo Bill fucking sensibilities there. Yeah. Oh, I love this thing. It makes everything so dark and evil. Oh.
As I'm kind of speeding through like this movie a bit, they at some point the Protectorate gets their hands on Bodai, takes him back to I guess their cop station, e-cop station, where Sandre, which is I forget her name again here, Sarah Douglas.
Sarah Douglas.
She is like saying like we can break through its we can penetrate it by using like all these drills or like
She
this
has like
cobalt drills
the
and shit.
biggest fucking shoulder pads. Like she's got broader
It's the
shoulders
80s.
than like
It's the 80s.
a lot of the guys. It's fucking crazy.
But all women in the 80s had those shoulder pads, like all of them. My mother
She
has.
looked like
I have
some
pictures
kinda-
where my mother has shoulder pads. You know, that's fucking ridiculous. You know, like they're like
She looked like a villain from a bank
Or
or
very
something.
big. Villain from the bank.
The way this chick was like, "Oh yes, welcome to my laboratory. You know, I am science bitch Chandra,"
yeah.
kind of thing. Like what the fuck is going on?
But she plays
Okay.
that. She almost plays that character in every fucking movie. I mean, other than Superman and Conan, well, it's almost like Conan in a way too.
Yeah.
But in Superman, I mean, she's like the kind of like a side character amongst the side characters and stuff like that as a villain.
Well, she's the okay. Well, sure. I mean, yeah, because
Primarily in Superman 2, but I mean, that's talking about her in this film. Like she has a really small role, but I mean, she's recognizable. She does play an asshole too, and she does get a horrible death, which is funny. Do you remember her death?
No.
Okay, so like Bryce, do
should.
you remember her death?
Oh.
Okay, so
I think for a second.
Chandra's death. If you all kind of missed this, it's kind of quick, but
All right.
at some point, whenever the Solarbabies invade the E-Cop station or the Protectorate, whatever it is,
Yeah.
they're trying to drill through Bodai.
Oh.
Daniel
remember now. I
gets the
remember now.
ball, and she
Go
kind of
ahead.
walks up to him and
Sorry.
grabs it too. And then as she's grabbing it,
Yeah.
her hands start getting electrocuted, and her hands catch on fire, right? And then,
So I like that.
and as she's like going back, like, she touches the fucking
Yeah, her hands are
electrical
like,
board,
"What?"
and she like gets electrocuted to death.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid as hell. I loved it. Like it would have been great if she, just stayed there with her hands on fire and she's there screaming, but instead she like backs into the fucking console.
Yeah.
And just
But
was
I'm gonna
fucking
say
dumb as hell.
Bodai did that. Bodai is a fucking harsh motherfucker. To like,
murderer.
he
Right.
he
The
fucking
worst,
cutthroat.
the worst.
Well, I
Worst
mean
part,
that
the
bitch was trying to fucking like destroy him the entire time, right? Like she brought out the Terminac machine that ended up like killing fucking Gronk.
it's like
somehow,
the first prototype
though-
from RoboCop that kills like the cop
Yeah,
killer
it
thing.
did look a little bit like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
The first rejected prototype, maybe. Doesn't it talk at some point? Doesn't it say something
very-
like
it's
when it's
very-
having like a malfunction
It's,
or
yeah,
glitch?
it's like it's basically just a robot voice. It's a very generic robot voice.
and then it just like picks up Gronk and then like baby shakes him around a couple times.
well, grabs
and
his
then
arm,
just drops him and he's dead.
Grabs his arm, grabs both arms.
Yeah,
Picks
it
him up.
gave him a real hard pinch.
But the Gavalier guy, the real shithead, blonde headed.
Yeah, Gavio
Gavio.
shoots it with
He
the gun.
shoots it and it ricochets off the thing and like kills him. But the thing also explodes, so like he gets killed that way
Okay,
too.
that's right. That's how it got.
And they
him.
even get a close up of the
Got
nose, like
shrapnelized.
his nose portion, like gets like ripped off. So like you see like
Oh,
like,
it did.
yeah, it did. Like if you have to
I
get, you
thought
have to
I
get a
saw
real
like I
close
saw
thing.
chunks
A
of
real
metal
close-up
in his
look.
face. I didn't see his nose. I didn't get
Well,
a
yeah,
real good look, 'cause
like
it's kind of fast.
The skin. Well, that's what I'm saying is that if you look closely, like he looks at him and there's a close up of the skin kind of
Yeah.
like ripped off his nose, and he's like all fucking dead and shit.
Oh,
Bryce, yeah, you were saying like the worst part or something.
Oh, it was the only death that made me feel anything was when the guy shot the fucking owl out of the sky.
No, that was a piece of
Yeah.
shit move.
That
He-
was
that-
that was tearjerker for me, man. It was a
that
little hard to see
guy
that guy
That guy
like,
deserved.
behind the dune,
Yeah.
and then he picks the fucking bird up and he's like, "Woo!" I like how later too when they come back, they're like, "Hey, we found the bird."
Yeah.
well, we buried it. I know.
That guy got off light. He should have
Yeah.
experienced probably the worst death out of all of them because he was the biggest piece of shit throughout the whole fucking movie. Once he like kind of like fucks with Daniel when they're like doing that little propaganda skate thing, you know, where like they're
Oh,
showing the video
yeah.
and stuff.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
he
he-
straight up tries to like
Well, he assaults Jamie Gertz's
assault,
character Tara,
Tara,
you know, which is a very
like a
strange
couple of
scene.
times
Yeah.
actually. I think.
And then he kills the fucking bird and like picks it up and like chucks it like an asshole.
What happens to him in the end? Doesn't he die off screen or some
like
shit?
I don't know
Or
what happens to him because like he kind of like as
He
things are
just-
falling
he
apart,
just
they showed him and then
disappears.
that's it. Like that's it. Like you don't ever see him again. You know?
Yeah, he shoots the robot. The plant explodes later, right? And that's
Or gets destroyed. Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily explodes necessarily. Like the one thing that does explode is that other like factory place in the
Firetown?
desert. Yeah. Wherever like
That
they
fucking
have
shithole.
that shithole place. But yeah, that guy should have got it the worst, I think. Like he they missed the mark getting him like killed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just dies off screen or something.
But that's
maybe.
shitty. That he should have died
Yeah,
on
that's
screen and
true.
very brutally at that.
They
for
should
all
have
the
put
shit
him
that he
back on
does.
that torture rack or whatever, and just
right?
left him there.
Right? Just let his skin completely fall off. He's a skeleton,
Yeah,
and then he kind
could
of
have
stays
gone.
there. They never turn it off.
He could have gone full fucking Ark of the Covenant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like full Evil Dead. Fucking melts. Blah.
Just to bring this the movie to a close is that Bodai pretty much as everything gets destroyed, water gets released, and Bodai pretty much makes sure that they have like these like really synchronized powers or some shit, or like lets him feel what the power's like. He
Oh,
goes away,
Yeah,
and then they have their little fun in the water with the 80s music playing in the
Mhm.
background. Credits roll. The end.
that's it. I mean, like at one point, Tara meets her father, right?
Right. Well, we'll get to that in just a
That's
second. Like a little bit of little details that we're kind of brushing over through the whole aspect of this movie. As far as like little details are concerned within the story, which kind of like plays no real role in the movie necessarily, other than just like a side quest that goes on. Tara with that shithole place wherever they go down the tires, you know, that whole scene's
Oh,
cool.
man.
You know, I like that.
They should have all been dead. There's no fucking way.
I don't think they would have been dead. You know, I mean, I think the kid would have fallen
a
out
couple
probably and got
broken
more injured.
bones,
Yeah.
maybe.
You know, when they put
Da-
when they put Daniel in the tire and they throw him down, I was like, he could have easily flown out of that fucking tire
Yeah.
and got like cut
Oh,
up through all
yeah.
the junk that's that's on the side there.
Yeah.
Like they could have easily found him decapitated somewhere in the fucking sludge on the very bottom.
Disemboweled.
Yes,
Oh.
Roland. I'm sorry, Bryce. Go ahead.
At the end of the movie, I didn't really understand. So did Bodai like fix the problems of the future, so to speak? Like,
Well,
it starts raining, right? Isn't
he
it?
released
He
he released the water.
reintroduced
Yeah.
rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is
It's
that gonna
acid
be-
rain.
Yeah, right.
It's full of microplastics.
Everyone just starts burning.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
gonna be. It turns into acid rain, like like this, like one of those shitty like Rutger Hauer sci-fi movies. Well, I'll have to
Yeah.
go through those
Shitty?
later.
Shitty Rutger Hauer.
I love
There's no such
them.
thing. There's no such thing as a
Oh,
shitty Rutger
man.
Hauer movie.
Mwah, sci-fi originals. Oh,
Are they really all? They're not sci-fi originals, man. Those are like quality. That's quality fucking
quality
Rutger Hauer right there, dude.
Amazon Prime material.
Originals,
Z-list.
to be
fucking-
originals. Yeah,
My
probably.
favorite Rutger Hauer movie is Blind Fury.
Blind Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when he's blind. He has a fucking
Uh,
samurai sword and shit.
Plays a Vietnam vet that's like gets lost in the jungle and which is kind of funny because they give him like a katana even though it's not the like I don't know,
No.
but he gets saved by like I think it's Vietnam, and he gets saved by them, and they teach him like the ways of how to fight without his eyesight because he's blinded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes back to America and he just like starts whooping ass on just no ne'er do wells and stuff. But great movie, it's super stupid but awesome.
I thought Ray was gonna say like hobo with a shotgun or some shit.
No.
That one's good too. I like
That's
that one
good,
too.
man.
That was fucking
Blind Fury's-
weird.
Blind Fury's old though. That's a lot older.
Mhm.
So, Roland, you brought up a scene that I kind of brushed over, but again, I didn't really see it as important. But it is.
Not.
I
It's really not. It's
my
so
reaction to that particular scene was that Tara, Jamie Kurtz, she finds her original family, and whenever they kind of intercept with the Solarbabies because they got separated at some point.
Yeah.
She is like introducing them to this really like euphoric kind of like culty looking place, and she's like, "This is my dad," and everyone's like, "Yay, we're gonna stay here." And
Yay.
then like they want to go
Cults
back and do all this shit,
forever.
but they never. I thought like at some point they were gonna come in.
that one scene with them.
Right, but I thought they were gonna like her family was gonna come in like the cavalry and help them out, you know. But they didn't. They just left and nope. We're gonna stay here and enjoy our nice, peaceful sexual relations with everyone. And and
we're all old. We've all got
we have
all
our cultiness,
all the
like
herpes.
yeah, we're practically nudists in this scene. You know, we're gonna like just like everyone's gonna have sex with each other. This is what we do here.
All the time.
Kids, not your kids. You know, everyone just has sex with each other, and we like. Then we end up fucking unicorns.
Repopulate
and it's this whole
the
thing, you know. Yeah,
we become
that she left that whole thing, and she became very close to it so quickly, but also left it so quickly.
Yeah.
For her.
Well, like
her chosen family.
I think it's implied that it's like a temporary thing. I feel like they probably went back to it or whatever after Bodai left them with the Bluetooth powers or whatever. They probably just went back and chilled with the cult folks.
You think that was it? Like he left them with Bluetooth powers?
I mean, like, well, what do they actually do when they hold hands and it goes, you know, all glowy and shit?
But that's what I said. Is like it doesn't make any sense, you know, because they're just like touching
is it
each
like
other.
Oh cool, it's a nightlight, awesome, what do you do with that?
But
party trick, you know.
It is an inside party trick, you know. They're gonna have more friends because of it.
Maybe.
So to conclude that, are there any parts of this movie as new viewers that you liked? Bryce, I mean, I'll go Bryce first. Bryce, what, since you just literally finished watching it, like what parts of this movie did you like, if you liked any?
I like the Dune callback kind of thing with the hand. I thought that was pretty cool. The effects were pretty good on that. When it gets like really bad, he like comes out of it, and it's like it looks, you know, pretty, like the effects they did are like really good, like almost like skeletal and stuff. I like the big robot fight scene. That was pretty good, I guess. I don't know, man. I wish I could have seen this movie with your like nostalgia vision.
Your children eyes.
Because I think I would have liked this movie when I was younger. It's just, I don't know, man. It was like, didn't really speak to me, dude. I don't know.
That's
I need to rewatch it. Okay?
But that's no. Look,
coming in on it. Like
that's the kind of reaction I want to get. You know, I want your first reaction because I'll be honest with you, this movie is not good. All right, it's not. This is all nostalgia bait for me as a child because I can forgive a lot of the things because I ignored them when I was a kid, you know, and I see them now and I can nitpick them. But I mean, by this point, it's whatever. It's not, again, that's why this movie's forgotten. This movie is just like into the ether. Like no one ever really hears about it. This is not a movie that gets brought up. This is not the Goonies. This is not Back to the Future.
No.
This is not Monster Squad. you know, like none of those movies. Basically, there's a few things that you liked about this movie, but realistically, overall, as an adult,
it wasn't completely
a dumpster fire.
But it's just I think like Roland got at best. It's just a lot of like desperate like moments in this movie, and it's just kind of like it wasn't cohesive. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like I felt like I was watching little like okay, this is happening now, and then
like parts of plot here and there, and
well, I mean, you know, I like these kind of fucking cheesy movies, dude. I mean, you know, I like old, like it has like elements of fantasy in a way, even though it's sci-fi. Like, you know, like I said, I kind of made a joke earlier. It's like Master sort of with the guy with the owl, but you know, the glowing orb thing. It's like I don't know what it was with the 80s. They were like trying to mix a lot of sci-fi and like mysticism and fantasy. There was another movie that's like really weird. It's called The Visitor, and it's like sci-fi too, but it's to be like a metaphor for like God and the devil fighting. It's just a weird ass movie, but I don't know. The 80s like to do stuff like that a lot. They like to mix their fantasy and
The 80s was a
sci-fi,
weird
but
time. That's all I can say.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of cocaine in those movies. You can tell.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
I was like, I wonder if Mel Brooks, indulged a bit too, man.
Oh,
He saw what he just heard
probably,
this
but
pitch and he's like, yeah, we gotta do it, man.
So
Yeah.
I'm reading a review here on
wait, hold on,
IMDb, and that's
Roland,
like exactly what it mentions.
Roland. Before you get to the reviews, we're gonna go over the reviews in just a minute. I want to know
Oh,
what
no,
you
I was
thought.
just-
I want to know what you thought about this movie initially on your first watch.
Initially, I was pretty much probably about the same as Bryce. I saw the beginnings of what was going to be some wonderful trash. It ended up just being trash, but it had it had the elements of some really enjoyable, ridiculous bullshit. I liked all the the stupid premise, the ridiculous dialogue, the really, really, really fucking like nonsensical goddamn dialogue. But I don't know. This movie's so strange that I've just never fucking heard of it, and a lot of people have seen most of Mel Brooks' movies.
But this is not really a Mel Brooks movie. It's just a Mel Brooks produced movie.
Production
movie, yeah.
Well, like, okay, I guess then.
Because I mean, like, I
good
doubt.
point.
I doubt. I mean, first of all, tonally, it's not Mel Brooks at all. If not,
At all.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
I was
waiting for
entirely
like
different film,
I was going to expect a lot of that, and it's just like a movie like any other movie, like a really shittier Mac and Me.
well, Mac and Me is
kinda what
better.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could see that.
But no, like I honestly did enjoy this movie, but like it's just like it does get very boring. It's a lot of these scenes are kind of dragged out a bit. That kind of killed it for me. They probably could have taken like a good 20 or 30 minutes off of this movie.
Sure, yeah.
But like I enjoyed the premise. I enjoyed the sets. The ridiculous costumes. The the dune buggies. The like pre-Batman split cycle or whatever.
Bye chopper.
Yeah, the bye chopper.
That's what he says. Disengage the bye chopper.
Yeah. The fact that like they were at one point they're trying to escape, and instead of saying run, they say skate. Like
I didn't even catch that. They said that.
yeah, dude. In the beginning of the movie, the first time they're running away from the like they're trying to escape in the tunnels. They're trying to get as they get away from that little like skating park. He just yells out skate. Like oh, it was so fucking dumb. I loved it. No, I mean they're really I other than like the dull moments, there's nothing to hate about this at all. I can understand why it failed. Fucking hell, I can understand why this failed
for sure.
horribly. This must have been dog shit to see in theaters, man.
Yeah, what did it make in box office?
I don't have that number, but let me see.
It was like only 1 point something million, and it had a budget of like 29.
It was $25 million.
Yeah. Did they even clear 1 million?
We'll find
I
out.
think they did. And according to Mel Brooks, from what I read, he said that it did break even eventually in VHS.
Yeah.
sales.
VHS.
Yeah, what, like 20 years later or some shit?
Oh,
yeah. He's finally making his money back, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold
It's
on.
fun.
So, of course, it says the budget was 23, but Mel Brooks specifically says it's 25 million. But the box office was 1.5 million.
Ooh. Still more than Borderlands.
Yeah,
Sing.
But
anyways,
The Crow.
we'll see about that. But I will say, trying to look at this movie through my adult eyes and trying to like get rid of the whole
Oh, you're gonna give it an
child
objective
aspect.
rating?
I'm trying to give it an objective rating here. So dialogue is terrible. All right. That one we did talk about that one scene when they go through that whole rain aspect, and they're like, "Yeah, come on," and they're just doing that shit. That was so cringy to me. Like it's just so fucking cringy to watch because it
It's
doesn't
very
make any sense.
weird.
They're just like doing shit for no reason whatsoever. And then
It's like, yeah, let's splash this dirty water all over the place.
yeah, whatever. This is like it doesn't make any sense.
Ray, can't you understand the whimsy of children and wanting
the,
to?
Well,
the whimsy of 18-year-olds and
hold on on
Well,
that.
I
Right?
mean, that one kid was pretty young. Hey, Ray, I mean, put yourself back in the mental state of a child, man. And you
Well, no, but that's the whole point
understand
of
why they're splashing around.
that's the whole point of watching. No, I get it. I mean, I get it. You know, but because also they've never really experienced that much water so freely before. You know, so they're kind of excited about it. But it went on
they
too
got
long.
to take a bath.
The song,
Actually, I think
the
they
scene
did
went on
said
too
that.
long.
I'm clean now.
Yeah, I'm clean.
Point.
Bleh, whatever.
Fist bump.
And there's a scene whenever Jamie
No
Gertz is
soap.
digging, and she tells the
Yeah.
guy, "Get out of here, you creature of filth!" Like,
Yeah, yeah. Threatens him with the
I do
shovel.
remember that one. That was, yeah.
yeah, she literally looks at him and goes, "Get out of here, you creature of filth!" I'm like, who the fuck
Yeah,
says that?
line
You know?
was pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot more that I liked about this movie, despite the fact that I feel it is a bad movie overall and cheesy, as generic and like
cheesy.
and very very cheesy. I like
Campy as it
some of
fucking
the special effects aspects of this movie, even though it's completely impractical that they're on roller skates. I love the fact that they're on roller skates because it's just this thing that I like in movies. Call me fucking stupid or whatever, but I like people on roller skates and shit in fucking movies. I like it.
All right, stupid.
There-
It was more Casey Jones action. Like they should have used like those fucking lacrosse sticks. Like I think they had a hockey
Yeah,
stick too.
like
One of the
hockey
kids had a
sticks.
hockey stick. Yeah, it should have been some
Yeah.
Casey Jones type stuff.
Something. No, they couldn't. They well, like no, they when they fought, it was like Three Ninjas kind of bullshit. You know,
Oh,
yeah.
Like-
Yes.
in Tub like hit everybody with a ladder. Metron did like a little like spin kick off of a fucking pole that was just randomly there.
Well, you know, there's one where they say like slingshot or something, and they grab each other, and then he turns around and like hits the robot. Like they spin around,
Oh.
they grab onto each other and spin around and hit the robot. I'm like, that's completely unnecessary. All right.
Okay.
And I'll say like other than some of the deaths, even though I wish some characters would have experienced more of a harsher death in the film, I enjoyed those aspects. Again, overall, it's a bad movie. Dialogue's bad. Story's bad. There's elements that just don't make any sense narratively. But it is what it is. I still enjoy it as whatever it is, but I know and I can't necessarily recommend it as a good movie to watch. But if you want to show it to kids, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead, do
That
that.
should be a great kids movie just because of how goofy it and ridiculous
Even though it
is.
is PG-13, surprisingly.
Yeah,
I think only other than the deaths and the weird like a saltiness that goes on. That goes on between
Yeah.
like Ivor and then of course that Gavier guy when he like goes over to Jamie Gertz. That's kind of weird, you know. Other than those two things, I'd say like as far as like a movie just in terms, it's pretty clean. And as 80s movies are concerned, it can get kind of dark, which is kind of
Sure.
typical for movies, even cartoons, TV shows for the time. Like even if it was geared towards children, it still had a very like adult element to it. I'm gonna start before we give our ratings. We're gonna go over some of the reviews, and Bryce, I think you had mentioned this at like kind of like casually, but I think it's Siskel of Siskel and Ebert. He said this movie was trash, and I mean he was kind of unforgiving about this movie. I think Roger Ebert was a bit more lax on the film.
Oh, really?
But Gene, he didn't. He said it wasn't good though. Like they both said it wasn't good.
Oh.
But I believe Gene Siskel was just kind of like, this is just bad from beginning to end.
Trash.
It's just trash,
Gene
trash,
Shalit
trash.
say about this movie.
Gene Shalit. I don't know about that, but that is a good. That's the guy from like that's all crazy looking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he loved it. I don't know, dude.
Well, if I could get a video of him like going like, I just saw like fucking like Solarbabies, and let me tell you what I thought. You know, like,
Yeah.
he's one of like those original movie reviews. You know, I respect the guy. I used to watch Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert back in the day, and I forget what the new guy's name was before. I think Roger Ebert died. But anyways,
Carrot Top.
Carrot Top, get the fuck out of here. You make me sick. So, as far as ratings are concerned, on IMDb, as trustworthy as that could possibly be, it has a 4.7 out of
Right.
10. I'm going to read some of the comments when it comes to like the reviews or just the titles alone. So, this person says 6 out of 10. Only the 1980s could have made a movie like this. Very true. 5 out of 10. The nostalgia goggles, they do nothing. So, as someone with nostalgia goggles on, it helps a little bit, personally speaking.
Give it a solid middle of the road.
Yeah.
That was a nice Simpsons reference.
4 out of 10. This is a quote from the film. It says, "I can't believe I'm standing here talking to a ball." I forgot who said that, but that could have been.
Nice.
3 out of 10. Incompetently
them.
made, poorly written, derivative exercise in a big budget Shaggy Dog story. 5 out of 10. One of the worst films of all time, and I love it. I can express that. I can relate to that.
You're reading your own reviews, Ray.
No, these are all IMDb reviews. I'm reading them off. Cold reads. I don't know any of these.
How many accounts did you make to do all these?
Yeah.
Make these bad fucking reviews. Why would I make these bad reviews? I'm gonna make like I'm gonna make like fake review. I'm gonna make fake accounts to fucking praise this movie, so it gets like 10 out of 10.
The exact definition of avant-garde media.
Roland, I think you'll like this one. Says 2 out of 10. Avoid it like solar rabies.
Nice.
See, that seems like something you would say, Roland. I feel like you should have said this movie gave me solar rabies. Not solar COVID, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was, because it's supposed to be the future. I was like, everybody's going to have like ultra COVID or something like that at that point. So I was going with.
We'll continue with a few more.
This made me itch so much, it gave me solar scabies.
Solar scabies. Ooh.
Let's I'll go over like a few more just to move along with this. 3 out of 10 gets out laser stick and destroys film. I don't know what that means. This one gave it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Roller skating orphans versus fascist government. I mean, I guess that could work.
Yeah, I like when you break it down to that essential element, that singular fucking.
I mean, in
description.
Theory,
that makes it sound cool as fuck, doesn't it?
Another Ray review. It's this is a modern Dickensian tale, a futuristic Oliver Twist, if you will.
Yes. With a little bit of Schindler's List sprinkled in.
Yeah, Schindler's List. Where the fuck are you getting that from, dude?
Well, there's the Nazi guy.
Yeah,
I guess so. But I mean, like. That's a darker movie than like even this is like.
This is pretty fucking dark. I mean, like when you think about if we're okay, let's take these. If we assume everybody at these prison camps are all orphans, they're all being indoctrinated.
Orphans. Yeah.
They're all being indoctrinated into was basically like they're being turned into Nazis, into cops, Nazi cops. they call them e-pigs or e-piglets or
E-cops.
He like Liam Neeson at the end of the movie. He's like, I could have gotten 2 more Bodies. If I could just save 2 more. Never
So
mind. Schindler's List reference there. But,
yeah, I
yes.
got
yeah,
that.
No,
I mean, it's
no.
pretty.
I wouldn't have suggested it if I didn't wholeheartedly believe in that reference, right?
No, I
How
got
dare
it.
you
I get you.
question me.
I get you. Like, I'm not questioning that at all.
I mean, how dare you question me questioning your your responses that you ghost wrote for this fucking
Nah, shut the fuck up.
movie?
I forgot about that e-pig thing.
Yeah, I just remembered when we were it was so dumb.
E-pigs. Random.
Scatter.
Yeah,
So
it's the e-fascists.
generally speaking, for this movie, the film received generally negative reviews all around from critics and, of course, obviously
you
the box
say.
office. We saw that it only made
That's just
1.5 out of
five.
25 million. And despite the ambitious premise, the involvement of Mel Brooks, it failed to connect with audiences and critics, resulting in it being considered a commercial failure. Now,
Mhm.
our reviews as a general film.
When's the Criterion release coming?
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming, baby. 4K release.
It might. I mean, it might, man.
A movie like this would
it's
never.
gonna be a Bauhaus steelbook.
If a movie
In 4K.
like this showed its face on Criterion, I'm gonna be dead. All right, that's gonna happen. I'm gonna be dead, and it's gonna come out in 4K release on Criterion. All right,
And that, just so that we could bury it with you.
Would you have more respect for Criterion if they released it, or less respect?
I barely have respect for Criterion right now at all for its pretentiousness, but I mean, like, probably more
He
respect.
had a little bit of
probably
it
more
with
respect.
RoboCop, but
I you know what, Bryce, let me say this too. If Criterion were to come out with a 4K special edition release, whole new art, all this kind of stuff, the same month, same week, same day, Mac and Me and fucking Solarbabies, I would think Criterion is like probably the best distributors of all time.
If they could get some lost interviews with Mel Brooks about this movie for the specials.
You know what I tried to look for, but I could not find in any way, shape, or form was interviews with Jason Patrick talking about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I could not find that anywhere, other than the written word article with Mel Brooks. There's no video. There's nothing with any of the cast talking about Solarbabies. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't look hard enough, but I looked quite a bit on YouTube or like any sort of like other platform that they would probably have
resource.
that I didn't see it at all.
Movie not on. Has it not been released on Blu-ray? Like, is Arrow Video like
No,
released
it is.
It is. Yeah, it is
I'm
on
looking
Blu-ray.
at it right here. Actually, it was on Blu-ray in 2016.
Yeah, and I need to get it. I need to have it in my collection. Yeah,
Jesus
even
Christ.
as terrible as I think this movie is, like,
no, absolutely, I understand that. I will probably add this when I start building up my post-apocalyptic, shelf sleeve
for sure,
or whatever.
Well, I'm doing that. I'm doing that right now, behind me.
You
there.
have,
do
you still have A Boy and His Dog, Ray?
A Boy and His Dog.
Oh, Boy and His Dog. You have that?
I thought you had that one.
No, I
No,
have.
you don't.
I have.
Shit.
That movie, right?
I have Ghost Dog. You fucker.
You can't claim that one, Ray. That was a gift. Okay.
Yeah. What the one gift I did? The one gift I did give away, which I kind of regret, was when you fuckers gave me Black Knight with Martin Lawrence.
Nice, dude.
I regret that.
You
I gave it away
so much.
I sold it. I gave it away or something. I don't know. I was just like, these fucking assholes don't know me at all. And then I realized, like, later on, like, I should respect this movie a little bit, So before we continue going off on a rant, which we will do in a minute, Bryce, be as honest as you need to be with this rating of yours. Remember, 1 out of 5. There's no hard feelings here. I'm not gonna hate you if you like give this a low rating. He's
already charging up the rage there.
Be as brutal as you need to be. Do it.
Oh, a 2 out of 5. Bastard. You son of a bitch.
He's gonna start doing the long legs. What's he doing?
So Bryce, your rating 1 out of 5. Go ahead.
See you at Bryce's house.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give it like a 2.5 out of 5, right?
All right.
Wow.
Middle of the road. That's pretty good still.
It's generous.
Yeah. I was expecting lower, which I'm pretty sure you wanted to do, but you're trying to be like a little more diplomatic.
I was gonna give it a
this.
2, but then I was like, you know what? Hell, it has a charm to it. It's not.
It does.
It's not particularly entertaining to watch, but it does have like a. I could easily see why this would be like a childhood favorite. I guess I don't know if it's your like a childhood favorite for you necessarily.
It's
but
a
like,
childhood enjoyment.
It's full of whimsy.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish I would have seen it when I was younger. It came out in '86. I was born in the '7s.
I would have liked to have seen this like much the same. It would have been great.
Yeah. I saw it as a kid. I probably would have liked it. Kind of reminds me of like my at least for me when I was growing up, like the three like you had mentioned earlier, Roland, like the Three Ninjas. So kind of like, if I saw Three Ninjas now, not having seen it as a kid, I would have been like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Well, I mean, it is, right? But it's like even more so.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, but
yes.
Give it a 2.5. Right?
2.5. Right. Roland, 1 out of 5. What do you give this movie? What the fuck is this, dude? What the fuck is this?
It's the scales of my bullshit counter. I'm trying to decide thumbs up or thumbs way the fuck down.
I would imagine you just been like
I gave this like I was. Well, I don't have quite as much flair as you do, Ray. Sorry.
Well, you brought out the thumb, so I mean, you tell me. Go ahead.
There you go.
Go ahead.
No, I'll give this like a. I can't decide if give it like a 1.7.
1.7.
Yeah.
I was originally thinking about giving it that, but you know what? I don't know, man.
I was thinking about giving it a 1.6, and I was like, no. That's
but you gave it a 1.7. Get the fuck out of here.
I like 7. It's a cool number. Yeah, there we go.
It's a cool number, like a cool, like this cool movie that I just saw.
I don't want to start moving it into like hatred territory because I don't hate this movie at all. So yeah, I'll give it a 1.7. It's not terrible. Yeah. It's not good, but I don't hate it.
All right. Okay.
Now the moment of truth.
The moment of truth. Me as a person who really liked this movie as a kid, and I've watched it twice already as an adult. I will say.
What is your dumb kid rating?
I'm gonna say like it's middle of the road. It's 2.5 out of 5.
Okay. Right.
The enjoyment for me comes from like all that nonsense I spoke earlier about like some of the death scenes, some of the special effects, the
togetherness,
the skating.
friendship.
I don't give a fuck about the friendship aspect of this, like at all. All right, that's the cringiest part to me.
You watch that and you're like, I wish I had friends. Nope.
No,
fuck these kids.
No. Those movies came. Those movies.
I wish you had friends that skate. That was
No. Those movies where I wish I had friends was that counted as Goonies and Monster Squad. Those movies, like I would say, like I want those friends. All right, this movie, I could not. I didn't even consider myself a person who could survive in an apocalyptic future where you got to roller skate because, like, obviously I would be on my ass all the time.
Sloth, in your life.
Nah, we would have starved.
I probably would have been pretty skinny if I kind of like only had like water and like mush to eat. You know.
You're gonna have the post-apocalyptic equivalent of the Filet-O-Fish sandwiches.
Like a lizard with extra tartar sauce on a bread or some shit. So I'm gonna say 2.5 out of 5. There's one aspect I feel that we kind of glossed over, and I completely forgot to mention it. the one of the cheesier aspects of this movie, and defines it as a completely and utterly 80s type of film, is the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
The soundtrack seems like it could have been like the Stan Bush lesser known cousin. Stan Bush is the guy who does a lot of the Jean-Claude Van Damme blood sport type of films.
His lesser
Like
known
some-
cousin Dan Bush.
I don't remember the guy's name, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna give him credit for that. But like the soundtrack of this movie, like when they're skating through the desert, like does not fit at all. It's very 80s. It's very almost adult contemporary kind of 80s is what it seems like, and it's fucking cringy as shit. That's another reason I'm giving it a 2.5 because like as much as I laughed whenever the songs came on, like I still know they're bad. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, one of the aspects of the 2.5 rating is the completely irrational way that they use their roller skates. Even though I like the roller skate aspect, it doesn't seem plausible in any way. So that's the 2.5.
It ruins your immersion.
Yeah, I don't believe it anymore. It doesn't seem
No,
believable.
it's not grounded in reality. No, fuck this.
But yeah,
Fools.
so that's where I stand on Solarbabies, 1986 film produced by Mel Brooks. As a kid, I loved it a lot. As an adult, it holds up in a sense where like it's cheesy and I don't expect much from it. And
It fits into a certain type of movie.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
again, if you had seen it as a kid, maybe you might feel differently. But as an adult, if you're seeing something as an adult for the first time, like I didn't really
I enjoy
think.
it like I enjoy all 80s trash.
In all honesty, like when I suggested this movie, I didn't think in any way that it was gonna like relate to any of y'all. Like, I didn't think you were gonna like really like it very much because it's not very good. It's not a good movie, I can accept. I know that, but I still wanted to put you through the nonsense that it is this movie, and I have plenty more to put you all through if you're so willing.
Oh,
to
what
humor
are
me.
we?
Yeah,
Older parents.
Solar Parents.
Ray, do you think that this movie would have benefited? Talking about going back to soundtrack real quick. Do you think this movie would have benefited from like its own original like theme?
Yeah, absolutely. I think music can really change the scenery of a film or a scene in general.
Yeah.
So like a grand
coulda-
type of like soundtrack or original score could have really changed a lot of like the way we're looking at the particular scene itself.
It wasn't in the
because
budget though, so
It wasn't
Oh,
because
no.
it was
Like, what?
they
They
couldn't
get, like,
afford
Wham
it.
to do like a Solar Baby song.
Wham.
Solar Babies.
Wake me up when we're
know what I
gonna
mean? Like-
you're gonna see the sun.
Orphans on roller skates.
Yeah.
No, here would have been the perfect line. Little Rose of the future. Fucking what's his face was trying to bill it that way. I'm just reading the
George Michael?
production notes.
I was like, George Michael? What the fuck?
No, I think it was the director.
Oh,
Something like
George.
that.
Little Rascals of the Future. Yeah.
Yeah, Little Rascals of the Future. In fact, there was one aspect I wanted to show. If we were kind of on this, I'll kind of post them up. Various sketches that were like the initial concept of Solarbabies, which were interesting, but like completely not exact like what they went with at all. They had more of like that very futuristic look, almost like alien type of look to it. But as we see, like in the final product, we just got a bunch of kids in rags. And
What do you mean
skates.
by like? You mean you talking about James Cameron like
No.
aliens?
I mean like alien type of armor and stuff like that. Like the way the way the kids are.
Solar Babies is brought to you by H.R. Giger and shit.
That gets like real
Sure,
fucking dark
I
and
would've-
shit. Yeah, I mean,
Roller skates have like nipples on them and stuff. Like I don't know, it's weird.
as you would imagine, like a movie like this has become a cult classic amongst like people who have saw it in the 80s. I don't think it registers necessarily with people who have never seen it before. Like I
Yeah.
said, because I mean, just in any
You
any,
had to be
any,
there.
any film that you see with for the first time and you're an adult and you have more of a rational mind, you can question a lot
Yeah.
of the shit that you're seeing. You can obviously see the flaws in the film, but as a kid, all that shit plays and it doesn't even phase you at all. I mean, look at every kids movie that we've seen.
Magic.
When we all the movies we saw when we were kids, and if you look at them now, and I say this specifically for whenever we talked about Mortal Kombat, and I had very critical eyes on that movie whenever we saw it, and you love it, but it's a terrible fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You ever saw Mortal Kombat when you were young?
I did, but when I saw it again as an adult, like I knew it was a bad movie, like I knew it, but and
How
I
could you say
I
that
nitpicked
about
it.
Christopher Lambert?
Yeah,
You horrible person.
I have
Have you seen Mortal Kombat 2?
I have.
Someone's-
Annihilation?
Yes, we talked
Of
about
course.
it.
I saw it in theaters.
What the fuck are you talking about? We
Oh,
talked
I
about the
can see it in
movie.
theaters.
We talked about the films, and I was very critical of Christopher Lambert as Raiden, and I was even more critical whenever we went into Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation, and that other fucking guy was Raiden, and I kept saying they couldn't get a fucking Asian guy to play Raiden, and y'all motherfuckers
no.
banded together to say that, well, you can't even tell that it's an Asian guy because he's got glowing white eyes. Like, shut the fuck up. It's an Asian guy with a rice patty hat. Shut the fuck up. It's such cultural appropriation. They couldn't get a fucking Asian guy to play fucking Raiden.
Hey, it's the Ghost in the Shell, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
That's just
Paradox.
as bad. That's just as bad. Shut the fuck up. It's just as bad.
I mean, who were they gonna get at the time? Be as big a star as Christopher Lambert, man.
You know, they could have gotten,
Raiden.
maybe, they could have gotten. I'm just throwing a name out there. Like, don't mess with me on this one. I
I
don't
already know what you're gonna say, dude. Let me see. Let's start with a J.
Jason Scott
Or
Lee.
with an L. Oh,
Jason Scott
let's say
Lee.
Jet Li.
Jason Scott Lee.
The guy who played Bruce Lee in the Dragon movie.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
and Mowgli in fucking Jungle Book. All right. Y'all look, I love Mortal Kombat.
Well, you could have said. I'm surprised you didn't say
You.
Jackie Chan, dude.
No, I didn't say Jackie Chan. See, you're racist.
Jet Li.
Why?
Because
He
Fuck,
goes
Jackie
with the
Chan?
most popular martial artists, arguably in China ever.
And probably at the time, Jackie Chan was probably one of the biggest Asian actors.
hold on.
He was.
Roland, what's the fat Asian guy's name that's always doing some like wild
Sammo
ass shit?
Hung.
That guy should have been Raiden. See, that guy.
He would have
should
been Fat Raiden.
Fat Raiden
Sammo
would have been
Hung
cool.
has starred in a lot of Jackie Chan's movies.
Yeah.
He like does a lot of choreography. They're buddies.
In fact, he was also the guy that Bruce Lee fought in Enter the Dragon. Fun fact.
Mm.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
So he also is in a movie that I want to suggest that I think is already coming out to streaming. That Walled City of Kowloon. But and it looks kind of like some like Shaolin soccer kind of what the hell is that other one? It's the same guy. I think his name's like Steven Chow. He does Shaolin soccer. He does this other one, but like it seems like a lot of that where it's like a lot of cool action stuff, but like it's all slapstick as well. Oh, what the fuck? Shaolin soccer, and the other one was fuck. It's gonna annoy the shit out of me.
Anyways,
Oh,
while
well,
Roland,
whatever.
you're thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that, I'm gonna bring this episode to a close. Now, Solarbabies is not for everyone, especially if you're an adult. You can show it to your kids; they might enjoy it. If you're watching it for the first time with adult eyes, you're obviously gonna know that it's not a good movie, and it's
Adult
not
eyes.
something
Not for
that's something
solar
you can
adults.
relate to. Right?
Dead adult vision.
Dead adult vision. This
Yeah.
movie like dies the minute your fucking eyes see the credits. You know.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Kung Fu Hustle. That's the movie I was trying to remember.
Oh yeah. Like Kung Fu.
Hold on.
All right,
Let me bring this episode to a close. I know you love Kung Fu Hustle. I get it, and it's a fun movie. So,
Let's get in the sequel.
Solarbabies. Show it to your kids if you like. If you saw it as a kid, you might enjoy it now. It's on Tubi. Check it out. If you want to own a copy of it, because I think this movie is could get forgotten in the ether of all the fucking clutter of all movies that came out as a kid or when we were kids in the 80s. You know, I never rented it. I always saw it on cable. And I feel like it's one of those films that should be preserved in some way, even though it's not very good. But that's just my own opinion. And of course, Bryce and
opinion,
Roland, yeah, we didn't really relate to the movie as much as I did, obviously because I saw it as a kid.
No,
and that's
okay.
and that's
should be
okay.
preserved in formaldehyde.
The DVD just fucking let it just sit there and congeal and turn into a Jello.
Jar so you can look at it.
So if you did like this video, please like and subscribe, and hopefully the audio and everything looks okay.
We're gonna find out.
We will see you next time on our next review. If you have any sort of suggestions for us, please put it in the comments below. And make sure, again, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Please.
Goodbye.
Ray will be your friend.
I will not. But I do enjoy the conversation that goes on in the comments. Much appreciation to those who have. So I do answer everyone as much as I can.
Let him know if you skate because he wants to. If you rollerblade,
Yeah,
not rollerblade, he wants to
skate.